Hey there, welcome to Droid City. This is Dashant, and I attended KubeCon 2026 Mumbai, and it was really amazing to have an interview with an amazing personality. There were multiple interviews which I have done. I'll be posting them soon, but one of them really stand out in this, which was with Sonali Srivastava. She is a co-chair of KubeCon 2026. Along with that, she also organizes events in CNCG for women, and she's also senior developer advocate, along with that a public speaker. So having all this combination and being humble, it's really amazing to have, and to have a conversation with her was really pleasure. The topics that we covered were about public speaking, DevRel, contributing in open source, and how you can ethically use AI in contributing to open source. So I won't take too much time, and let's begin. I get so many questions from students, let it be working professionals, whenever they are trying to get into open source, even if they know little bit of AI, they are like, how can we get into open source? The first question comes around is like, we know about Hacktoberfest, we know about CNCF, but where to start with? They are like, even if we add, let's say there is any kind of documentation or grammatical mistake or anything we add, but it doesn't count into a proper contribution by an industry standard. So how they should get started with a proper one so that they
Proper
can get
ones.
jobs, or they can even start their own startup via this.
Okay, so you are right on the aspect that in any open source project, there can be multiple ways of contributing.
Yeah.
One is the technical one, wherein you go ahead, fix some feature, so come up with a new feature, fix some existing feature, or the non-technical way could be to improve the documentation, and then you help the. Even I have heard that in some of the projects, the folks have come up with custom logos for a particular version of the project. Okay, so that also requires some effort and planning. So it's not like you have to be 100% technical to contribute to a project. There are multiple ways. The starting point could be if one has a basic understanding of the project, like fixing grammatical errors or doing a proofreading of the documentation, and then identifying small things in the project. You can at least get to know with that how the project is getting built.
Yeah.
So any PR that you raise, there is a pipeline that that most of the projects have, where they'll sign the PR, and then a couple of checks that run on that particular change that you have raised. So even if it's a grammatical fix, the checks run, and you get an understanding that how the project is actually building, and you might have to build it on the local machine,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Just to see whether your change is reflecting or not. In that process you at least get to learn how to start with the project.
Yep,
Right.
definitely.
Once you gain that amount of confidence, you can go ahead, and for that particular project you can check the good first issues that are there. If you see in issues section, there are multiple issues open. And most of the projects that are there in the open source community label those issues with the tag called good first issue. So yeah, so people can filter using the label in GitHub, and they can target those issues. Now the thing comes is, how will you contribute to a good first issue? It might seem a little bit challenging for someone, and might require some technical skills. So when you select a project, there is a section called languages that is mentioned usually on GitHub on the right hand side, and it clearly states how much percentage of a particular programming language is getting utilized in that project. So you can, if you are good in Go or you're in Python, you can make that selection based on your programming language preference. But in the age of AI, where people are vibe coding, I don't think programming language is a problem. If anyone has like a little bit programming experience, you need to have just the algorithm clear, that what you want to implement. You need to have your data structures concept very well. Just a minimum also is enough, I think. And if someone doesn't know, I think there is ample amount of technical content available now, where one can gain that sort of knowledge that is needed for open source contributions. And once you figure out which issue you have to work on, don't be hesitant. Go ahead, put the comment that I want to start working on this. So if the maintainers has the bandwidth, or maybe if you have any questions, like I want to fix this feature. Here are my first few thoughts, that this is what should could be done. what do you think? Or could
Got
you
it.
provide me more insights or feedback? I'm looking. So go with some research. Just by saying that, I want to fix this issue,
Mm.
or help me fix this issue, or I need some guidance, that simple one sentence will not help you. See, anyone who is trying to help you will need a little bit more
Yeah,
context in terms of how much you know, right?
definitely.
So if you are someone who want to be a contributor, when you put a comment something like I want to fix this issue, maybe provide some other context, like, I'm good with this, and I'm a beginner in this, and here is my basic understanding, here is how I think this issue could be fixed, what are your thoughts?
Got it. Yeah.
So that's how you get to, at least you get the what do you say, eyes of the maintainer or the people who are already contributing to that
Yeah,
project.
definitely.
And I think that should be good enough. Yeah.
To get started with.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
get started with.
definitely. Thank you so much for this. Another question which comes up in maintainer side is, what if people start using AI and they just give a pull without any kind of sense, like what they have done in there? So how can we avoid this kind of issues? I know like Claude Code has this Claude as a contributor whenever you try to push it, but some people like me already have found a way to avoid that from the get to show. So how can
Yeah, I think your question is very valid. Recently, CNCF Tag Developer Experience did a survey where the maintainers did highlight that they are worried about low effort PRs that the
correct?
people are raising these days. The AI slop is there, and the what I have seen certain maintainers do is they have taken initiatives. They have included in their guidelines where they have specifically mentioned that, see, for inspiration you can definitely use AI, it can guide you, but then don't make it write the code, because eventually if you are trying to fix a feature you might end up introducing four different bugs.
Yeah,
So you don't want to do that as a developer. Do you really want to end up doing it? It's like you want to cook a dal, but then you just take it out of a you cut the packet, you take it out, and you don't wash it. You just
yeah,
put some water and boil it.
boil it. Yeah, that won't
Yes,
make
that won't make sense. I mean, AI can tell you that how to boil water, but AI might miss to tell you have to wash. Sorry,
dal.
AI might
Yeah,
tell you how
yeah,
to make the dal, but the AI might miss to tell you that you have to wash the dal.
yep.
So that's like basic sense that it might miss, or some creativity, that you can enhance the dal using these things.
Yeah, this is
So
masalas. Yeah,
I mean, the human has to be kept in the loop. Right. Otherwise, the biggest challenge that we will face 5 years down the line is AI can do everything and human is out of the loop. But I don't think
yeah,
that is possible.
of
See,
course.
for accountability, you need to have human in the loop who can make a sane decision that whether this is even valid or not. Right.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I definitely don't make AI code for you. There are many coding agents, but they are there to help you, guide you, and not to replace you.
Yep,
Yeah.
thank you. So another part which comes to my mind is like, if somebody wants to get into the speaking part, like they want to be a public speaker, I've seen you in this particular conference, like the way you communicated with the audience, got the attention, got the hook out of them. Like it was something amazing, which I also
Thank
learned.
you. Thank you.
So how can you guide the newbies who are getting into the public speaking part? They may have the fear, and some people may have the experience like me, but they haven't saw you like this. So what are the guidance for them, like how they can
So
grow?
I would say start small. Every step is like a step. So, and every step forward is a step,
Yeah,
right? So the best thing that anyone can do is start talking to, or whatever public speaking that you have to do. First, start it with a mirror. Put
okay.
a mirror in front of yourself. Just give a talk.
But
See,
how to evaluate?
so I'll be honest. One can be the best judge of themselves. Okay,
Okay.
what do you, it is important that what the work that I do, I like it myself first, right? And if I have to give a talk, I would prefer doing a rehearsal myself first, just to see how I am doing. Okay, and if I am only not liking my work, I might end up living with this conflict that, what if I don't do good on the
Yeah,
stage, right? But if I start liking my own work, it's like loving yourself. So if I start liking my own work, there is definitely a better chance that I'll do better on the
Stage.
stage. So that's one thing. And then you can, maybe if you are working at some organization, you can ask a few colleagues of yours to come on a call virtually, and then you can present to them and they can give you some feedback. At least I have done that. And yeah, I recently did for my keynote as well. I gave the same keynote to one of my colleagues, Atul, and I was like, okay, I have to wrap this up in 10 minutes. Let's do this. And that 10-minute call turned into an hour of a call. And that 10 minute of keynote that I was supposed to give turned into like 30 minutes of a talk. And then we were like, okay, we have the base. Now we need to figure out what all has to be cut from this, because I'm so habituated to giving a 25-30 minutes of a talk. My Even though my content was of 10 minutes only, but then when I started speaking, I had so much to explain that I in the flow it was coming out naturally for me. So then then we came to a conclusion that we need speaker notes, because I don't do
Okay.
speaker notes ever. I always do it
Yeah.
myself. Because I prepare the slides myself. So when you prepare the slides, you get a better context of stuff. So it helps you deliver the talk better.
Yeah, definitely.
So the major challenge was that how will I fit that talk in 10 minutes? I have never done that before. The first thing was have speaker notes, because it might take a few practices, but then you will get fluent in reading and then also delivering it. So you don't have to like be so stringent about it. Then you can give it a one note. So I gave it a multiple tries, but then I had a challenge that my speaker notes were not getting displayed properly.
Oh.
So then I had to stick to my laptop. But then the kind of rehearsal that I had done a couple of times, that helped me remember it very well. So that's how it is. I mean, it takes practice. I have lost the count of talks that I've given, to be honest.
Amazing.
So that, but even after that, till date, every keynote, sorry, this was the first, but
Yeah.
every talk is equally important for me, whether it was speaking at MCP Dev Summit, where me and Oshi had a talk. We talked about MCPs, and we talked about the missing things in MCP and how it can be bridged. So yeah, every talk is equally important, and I do the
Yeah.
same round of practice. That if it's a session, you prepare the slides beforehand, you do a dry run at least 4-5 times to give yourself that kind of confidence.
Yep.
So public speaking only comes with experience. There's no hard and fast rule of it. Yeah.
Got it. And one last question, it is related to your journey. So, how would you guide somebody who is from a technical background, may have done some technical work in their organization as a consulting, wherever they may have done? How can they get into DevRel part if they have interest into it?
So DevRel part has many domains, yeah. In itself, it's a huge umbrella, I would say. Depending upon the organization that one is with, the definition of DevRel may vary.
Oh.
Okay, but the bigger thing out of the bigger message that the DevRel is supposed to be about is we want to communicate technology in a way that everyone can understand it.
Got
So one doesn't have to be from a technical background to understand the concept.
Oh.
So a simple example could be Kubernetes. If you have to explain Kubernetes to someone who has never even heard of Kubernetes, how will you do it? The role of DevRel is that they have to communicate in a way that that person can understand it. Now, if you go and tell that person it's a container orchestration tool, I don't think container orchestration and even tool will, these three words also will do the justice. Even if you have like two sentences of explanation, that also will not do the justice. You'll have to come up with a very real world example
Yep.
to explain that person.
Because
Right.
those are technical jargons which only technical people would know.
Yeah. So you do not want to do that at a conference where even college graduates or fresh college graduates are coming, and even college going students. We saw at KubeCon there were many
Yeah.
college going students were coming over here. There are multiple concepts that they are not aware of. So that's where the real world examples help everyone understand, and that's what the role that DevRel is all about, to making sure that the technology is communicated in the easiest possible way. And whatever the developers are building, there can be multiple use cases around
Okay.
it. And and the developers are using those products. So
Yeah,
it's like
definitely.
one developer is making it, the other developer is using it at some organization to solve some problem. You have to make sure that those features are built with an intention to help the other developer,
Yeah.
right? These developers are making sure of that. Now, when the developer has to use this particular tool or a feature, they also need to understand how it is beneficial for them or whether it is built for them or not. So one aspect of this could be the developers have to write the documentation or even come up with the use cases as an
Yeah.
example. So they can write that. Better Another version of this is they write blogs. Content creation is important, and once you start writing, the developers once they start writing these contents, it gives you more confidence in how well you can explain.
Yeah, definitely.
So Devrel has many parts. One can go in content creation, vlogs. They can do demos. They can record their demos. Whatever integrations they have understood. Take a couple of examples that I saw over here in Solution Showcase in the breakout sessions today at KubeCon. Many of them I was surprised to see because I've not seen them before.
Oh,
So I was like, oh wow, I can go back. I can implement this and try out and maybe write about it.
yeah.
So yeah, Devrel has many parts. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. Any kind of guidance or any kind of feedback you would like to give in general for
In
the upcoming
general,
generation?
yeah, I would say try to write, because in today's era, if you have some technical skill or even a non-technical skill, you should write about it or at least record it in some way, because that's what the people who will come after you can know about that particular tech or non-tech stuff. It could be a restaurant or it could be any new technology that you have learned about.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was really
Thanks.
lovely.
I
of you.
love doing it.
Yeah.